Hello and welcome to the GetSocial dashboard demo. So before you can get into the dashboard, obviously you have to navigate there. So you go to dashboard.getsocial.im and you log in with your credentials. You can also use single sign-on with Google or GitHub to log in. Once you log in, it will default to the analytics page, which will show you all the different analytics that are available for your application. However, first we are going to the app information page. Here you will see all your app information configured, and there's a separate video about app configuration that will show you what to fill in where, both inside the dashboard and in your application, and there is a link to that in this page as well. So a couple of things just to point out here is here you can set up moderation if you're using our activity feeds, automatic content purification with our profanity filters, and you can set up security, meaning that the SDK will only successfully initialize if it matches the apps and the signature and the package IDs that are there for the App Store and the Android Play Store. So first of all, we're going to configure smart invites in our user acquisition part. So smart invites are the user-to-user invitations that are sent through various invite channels that you can use for your users to invite friends, share content, etc. What happens when somebody pushes the GetSocial share button inside your application is our technology will look at the user's device and detect what applications out of this list are present on the device and only show those applications instead of showing the native share functionality, which contains things like Android Beam, PayPal, Dropbox, Evernote, things that you have no business sharing stuff on with your friends. So as you can see here, we can set up default content. By clicking the pencil icon, you can edit this message in 24 languages. This is the default text that we have supplied for all apps, and obviously you can change this to your own liking in up to 24 languages. If the language that is chosen is not supported or is not filled out, then it will revert back to the English language default. You can also configure your email subject, and you can configure your invite image that will show, provided it's supported by the messaging client. Then you have the invite channels. Now you can configure all these invite channels separately. So here we have WhatsApp. We can enable or disable this, and this is updated live inside your application, so you do not need to resubmit or anything like that. We can unfold this, and there you can see custom image that can be configured, default image that will be used, image or video. You can create a custom message. So for every channel where it's supported, you can customize the message specifically for that channel. This isn't relevant for all channels, but for channels like Twitter and SMS, it is particularly relevant because on Twitter you can use hashtags for your app, and with SMS you have to be wary of the character limit that's there. So you need to make sure that you have a message that's short and to the point. Whereas on WhatsApp or other platforms, you can be a bit more wordy in your explanation. As you can see, we support a large variety of channels, and you can change the order by dragging, and again, just like the switching on and off, this order will be updated on the fly inside your application. Now, if you want to see what are the most popular applications for inviting, there's a presentation we have on the blog that covers this in great detail. Generally, WhatsApp, email, SMS, Facebook Messenger are your biggest platforms, and they'll vary by region. However, because our system detects what's on the user's device, if a user doesn't have WhatsApp, it doesn't matter if it's at the top because it just won't show. So those are our smart invites. And once you've configured your default text and maybe gone in and configured a custom text for Twitter and a custom text for SMS, you're pretty much done. The next thing is smart links. So smart links are where smart invites are user to user. Smart invites are from developer to user, and you can use these on any of your owned or paid media to the same effect that you can use smart invites. So for instance, you can create a smart link for your Facebook page, promoting a new piece of content that's inside the application, or promoting a sale that you have inside the application, whether it's a sale for soft currency or a sale for physical goods. And what the smart link will do is you create the link, give the link a name, so say Facebook summer promo. Campaign name is then summer promo. The channel where you will post the link, here you can select what channels you will post this link. So in this case, we'll be posting it to Facebook. If you wanted to, you can add a medium. Let's say you're paying for clicks on this, then you can add the medium by which you're paying. And then you can change the link to be a bit more pleasant to the eye or easier to remember, or you can just leave it as is. Then you come to link parameters. So link parameters is the custom value that our technology passes back to your application via webhooks or directly inside the app for you to handle whatever destination or whatever piece of content you want the developer or the user to see. So in this case, let's say in the Facebook promo, we have a specific promotion ID, and that promotion ID has a value. What will happen when a user clicks this link, if they have the app installed, it will open the app, and the promo ID will be passed back to your app, and your app will receive promo ID equals 12345, and then you know what specific promotion to send the user to. You could also have a content ID. So let's say I want to send someone to a specific piece of content inside my application with the promotion ID attached. Then I can add a content ID here as well, A, B, C, D, E. So when that happens, when the user clicks the link, both the promo ID and the content ID will be passed back to your application, knowing that this user is here to see this specific piece of content with this attached promotion ID. Ways you can use this are, for instance, if you're working a lot with influencers, you can give each influencer their own unique link that will direct their followers to a unique piece of content. So, for instance, in a video game or in a mobile game, you could direct those users to receive a piece of loot that is branded with the influencer. So if they follow that influencer's link, they receive a player skin or a unique item that is linked to that influencer, as a way for you to make the influencer campaign more interesting, both for the influencer and their followers, and it allows you to track everything. Next, you can configure social media. What this does is, in cases like Facebook, what happens is Facebook will check the destination of the link, and it will parse that destination to show preview on your Facebook page. So here you can make sure that you are in control of what that preview looks like. By specifying content, you can add languages, a title, a description, an image, and that will ultimately create the page as you see here. Then you click create, and the link gets created. You can download a QR code if you're using this in the physical space. You can copy it to your clipboard and paste it to Facebook or anywhere else. Those are our smart links. So those are the two devices most often used for user acquisition through GetSocial. On top of that, we have smart banners. So what smart banners do is, if a user comes to your mobile website or your website on their mobile device, it brings up a banner letting them directly get the application. Here you can configure what that banner looks like, create a custom URL, and then generate the smart banner code to paste it directly into your CSS or your website. Finally, you have the landing page. So this is the landing page that people will see when they click and they get to the landing page instead of being directed instantly to the App Store. So this will happen, for instance, on Apple devices where Apple doesn't allow you to redirect users into the App Store directly. So there will always be a landing page, and then there will be a pop-up button from Apple saying, do you want to open the App Store? But it can also happen in edge cases where the user is on an unsupported browser, or for some reason we're unable to redirect directly to the Play Store or the App Store. Then there will always be a landing page, and you can configure what that landing page looks like here. Finally, we have link inspection. So for instance, if you're getting complaints from a user that they've clicked the link and they're not getting to where they're supposed to be, or they're not getting the reward that they were promised, you can get their link, paste it here, and it will tell you exactly who clicked and installed, reinstalled, or opened your app through this link. So you can see the link and all its attributes and all the analytics that are tied to it. So that's our smart invites. Second part is our activity feeds. So our activity feeds are effectively custom news feeds or activity feeds. Think of like a Facebook wall that are inside your application and that you can use to communicate with your users, or your users can use to communicate with each other. This is not chat. So this is not as fleeting as chat. This is more like a forum where every message and every reply to a message gets threaded into its own topic. Users can comment on messages, users can like messages, and all of those interactions will cause push notifications to be sent to other users. So if I post a message and somebody else comments on it, I receive a push notification notifying me that somebody commented on my message. If I then like that comment or reply to that comment, then the maker of that comment will receive a push notification telling them that I like their comment or I replied to their comment, etc. And that's a way for you to drive engagement inside your application. Activity feeds are created dynamically from inside the application. So in this case, the demo app has only one feed, but you can have as many feeds as you want. It is unlimited, and here you can see the feeds and the messages that have been posted to the feeds. You can create announcements. Think of those as developer messages that are sticky to the top of the feed. So you can filter by feed, you can filter by status, and then you can create, for instance, a new announcement. So I want to create a new announcement to promote a new piece of content that's been launched inside the application. Check out our new content. I can browse to add an image or a video to this. I can add a button text. And then I can add an action value. That action value is what gets handed back to your application and that you then action to do whatever it is that happens here. That could be opening a specific piece of content inside the application, opening your in-app purchase store inside the application, anything linking people to a tournament if it's a game. Anything that you want can be linked to as long as it's inside your application. You can even use it to cross-promote towards other applications if you so chose. You can select the feed it will be posted to. You can select a time and a period. And then you can preview and you can post. Once you post something, people are going to start interacting with it. And a lot of our developers use the activity feed or use one of their activity feeds as a way to communicate directly with their users, updating them on new content that's been posted or updates to the app, asking questions about what direction to go in next, what content to develop, what features to prioritize, etc. Whenever somebody interacts with your posts as a developer, you will receive notifications inside the dashboard. You can check on those notifications and then you can comment or like those responses as you see fit. Obviously, when you put users in a position where they can interact and engage with you, the developer, and other users, there will be abuse. Now, we have profanity filters in place that are quite extensive. However, you're never going to catch all of it. And that's why there is the ability for users to flag content that they find offensive or incorrect. And that flagged content will appear here. You can check the content and then you can action that content, deleting it, banning the author, closing the report, checking the author profile, etc. Once you ban someone, they will show up in your banned user list. And you can also take actions like unbanning them after a certain period of time. So those are activity feeds and smart invites, smart links. So the user acquisition part and the engage part. If you wanted to target users, you can create lists of audiences inside our application. For instance, active inviters, users that sent an invite over the last 7 days. This will give you a brief overview of that audience, how many users are in there. In this case, it being a demo app, there is no data here. How many users are in there, how many invites they send, what their lifetime average is in terms of retention compared to the rest of your users, what their session average is compared, lifetime session average compared to the rest of your users, how many activities they post, how many invites they send, comments, installs generated, etc. You have the same for influencers. This does actually have data. You have the same for influencers, and then there's two key parts. You can export these users, or you can reach these users. If you export these users, we will give you all the information we have on these users as a CSV file for you to put into Facebook's lookalike targeting or any other platform for you to use inside your own push notification system or any other CRM that you're using internally, so that you can track these users, engage with them, reward them, whatever it is that you want to do. You can also choose to reach these users, in which case you will schedule a push notification for this audience. So we have a push notification system inside GetSocial where you can send push notifications to users that are part of a segment. So for instance, I want to send a push notification to all influencers saying thank you. I can say send this to everyone. I can send it to users from a specific audience, or I can send it to test devices if we're just doing this for testing purposes. In this case, I want to send it to the influencers, and I want to schedule this for later. So I want this to be sent tomorrow, 9:25 a.m. in the recipient's time zone. Then I want to add content. So I can add different languages based on the user's device language. That's what the notification will show up in. I can add a title. Thank you for being a friend. We really appreciate your loyalty. Come get your reward. You can preview what the message looks like in Android and in iOS. And then you can define actions. So there are several things you can do. You can, when the user clicks the push notification, you can make the app open home screen. You can make the app open the smart invites view. You can make the app open the activity feed view. You can make it open a specific URL, or you can make it perform a custom action. So in this case, I want a custom action because I want these loyal users to receive their loyalty reward. So the key is loyalty, the value is reward 1. I can review, and then I hit schedule, and it will go out. That's our push notifications. So we've walked through how to set up smart invites and smart links, how to manage your activity feeds and your user engagement there, including any moderation and user reporting, and your smart targeting. Now let's look at the analytics, right? Let's look at what is the data that you get back from our system. So when you start with analytics, you start with the overview. The overview contains some high-level information about the performance of your application. So it will tell you for the selected period, it defaults to the last 7 days, but you can set it to anything you want. Let's set it to last 30 days. It will tell you for the last 30 days what is the average DAU that we've seen inside your application, whether that's up or down from where we've seen it before. It will tell you the average amount of installs that were generated over the period, whether that's up or down from the period before. Estimated savings, so we estimate your savings based on CPI information that we have, for which we use external sources. Think about stuff like Chartboost CPI index. So this is a very, very rough estimation based on the installs we generate for you on which OS and in what territory. It's just some guidance in terms of how much money you're saving by using GetSocial. And finally, we show activities. So this is how many activities have been posted and what the change is in the period before. We go a little deeper when it comes to smart invites and smart links. So we tell you how many installs we've generated through smart invites and through which channels. So here we see that WhatsApp has generated the most installs at 40%. Then for smart links, we show you the same, through which channels, and invites sent by channel as well. We estimate your savings by channel and by platform and by country. And the country chart you can download so you can see exactly how many downloads were generated over the period in what countries and what we estimated your savings would be. Going a bit further into detail, we have our smart invites information. So this will tell you a bunch of information specifically to the use of smart invites inside your application. You can select for all of our data, you can select for platform and you can select for country if you wanted platform and country specific information, but we'll just use the generic one for now. It will tell you over the period how many installs your smart invites have generated. It will tell you cycle time. This is the time, the percentage of users that are less than 24 hours old when they send their first invite out of all the inviting users. It will send you your average invite per inviting user. So this will basically tell you how successful you are in getting your users to invite more than one of their friends, which is very important for your K factor. And this will tell you the invites per mil, which is how many invites are sent out per 1,000 daily active users. This is important because it tells you how good a job you're doing in terms of getting your overall user base to invite their friends. The invite funnel, looking at this funnel, you can see by day, broken down by day or by month in a line or a bar graph, how many invites are initiated, which is the blue line, how many invites are canceled and sent. This information is a bit of an estimation because we don't get failure or success messages from every platform. How many links have been clicked, which is how many times the link that's contained in the invitation has been clicked, and then how many installs have been generated. So you can see that for all those days. You can go here and remove information that you don't want to look at. So let's say I just want to see clicked and installed to see what my conversion is looking like, then I can do that by removing that information. We show you cycle time and re-engagement. So cycle time I just mentioned. Cycle time is important because it shows you how successful you are in getting your users to invite early on in the process. And this is important because obviously with churn, day one, you're going to have 40, 50, 60% less users than you had on day zero. So the better a job you do on day zero getting your users to send out that first invitation, the more invitations you're going to be sending out as a whole. The bigger the pool of users that you can appeal to send an invitation. Re-engagement via invite links. So often it will happen that a user will have already installed your application and opens it via an invite link because another friend has invited them to install your application or to check out a specific piece of content. In that case, this graph will tell you what that age is of that user compared to the last time they opened the app, so the day since last session. So here you can actually see that in this case 58% of users hadn't opened the app for a day, and almost 10% of users had not opened the app for 4 days or more. So effectively 10% of the users that received or that opened the app through a smart invite were re-engaged with your application. We show you K-factor. Disregard the numbers here because we're using a calculation that is based on epidemiology. So we're not using the standard simplified K-factor calculation. But this gives you a good indication in terms of directionality where your K-factor is going, if it's going up or down compared to the previous period. And that is a good estimation for you in terms of whether any specific efforts you're doing to increase either the amount of invites being initiated or the amount of links being clicked or the amount of downloads being completed, whether those efforts are actually having a positive impact. And then finally, installs by country. We show you that. And then we get to the more detailed stuff. So here we break down by channel what your send to install conversion is, or any. So you can see initiated to install, initiated to app to link click or app open, all this information, and then you can combine channels to see your overall trend, or you can leave channels as is, and it will break it down. And again, clicking on one will remove that from the list. So if you're not interested in Snapchat, then you can take that out. If you're not interested in Line, you can take that out. You can see mousing over a specific part of the graph will tell you the exact stats. Events by channel show you exactly how many events we registered for which channels. So in this case, it's set right now, it's set to installs. So it shows you how many installs were driven through WhatsApp, Messenger, Facebook. But if you set it to the front of the funnel, because installs and link clicks obviously are the back of the funnel, they are the recipient side. If you set it to the sender side of the funnel and you look at initiated, then it will tell you how many shares were initiated from which channel, and the red line shows you how many unique inviters you had. So this is key, because this will show you how good a job you're doing in terms of converting your users to send invitations. Events by platform show you those same events but spread across iOS and Android, and events by user type show you those events for new and retained users. And that is Smart Invites. We move to Smart Links. Give it a second to load. It will show you similar information but specific to Smart Links. Now, because Smart Links are from you to your users through various channels, things like initiated are not there, because it's not a share you initiate. You post this link somewhere and then users click it. So we start tracking from the link click, and we can tell you exactly per day how many links were clicked. You can filter by campaign, filter by channel, filter by medium if you so chose, and it will get you all that information. Click event by channel, so it will tell you how many clicks were driven through which channels if you wanted to break it down specifically. Install events by channel, how many installs came through which of the channels, and if you were using more channels in your campaigns than just Twitter, Facebook, and email, because we do support more than that, then obviously they would show here as well. And then finally your app opens, and this being a demo app, we don't actually have any registered app opens, but it would show you by campaign how many app opens were generated. This is obviously interesting because app opens are the ones where there is no install. So those are your users that have re-engaged or have opened your app based on some of your promotions. So if you're communicating to your user base through Facebook or through Twitter, a large part of your user base will already have installed your application. So the install count in the install event channel is probably going to be relatively low. However, the event open is going to be a lot higher because you have users that are on those channels clicking through to the content that you're promoting and opening your app and re-engaging with your app through that. Retention is your standard retention information with one difference. When it loads, this shows you your retention not just your overall retention, but it shows you your retention for users that have been invited versus non-invited users. So users that have come in through GetSocial versus users that you've acquired through other means. And here you can see what the difference is in retention. Now, this being a demo application, these numbers aren't real, but normally what we'll see for day one is we'll see a 20 to 40% lift in retention on day one, 40 to 60% lift on day 7, and 80 to 100% lift on day 30. for invited users. You can break the retention down by channel, or you can just combine it and it will show you app average versus GetSocial. And here you have your standard retention tables with your cohorts for invited and non-invited for each day. Finally, we get to the engagement part of our analytics. So this is primarily aimed towards your activity feeds. So one, it shows you an overview of your new and retained users, which is information you'll get through other analytics channels as well. It will show you how many content sessions you've had for the month or for the day or for the year. In terms of invites, so how many invites have been sent, how many likes have been posted, how many comments have been posted, how many activities have been posted. It will break down your activities posted per day or per month or per year, and it will tell you as well how many unique users have been posting. Activities posted are broken down by Android, iOS, and dashboard. Obviously, dashboard are the activities that you've posted yourself. Comments, Android, iOS, and dashboard, and the unique amount of users that are posting comments. So you can see if you're making any efforts to increase user engagement or to increase use of the activity feed inside your application, you can see whether those efforts are bringing results. Events by user type for new and engaged users. If you're using push notifications, it will show you push notifications sent, delivered, and clicked. And it will show you conversion as well from this different types of activity that we send push notification for. Average session per user, all that information. Again, as all of our analytics can be, periods can be changed, custom ranges can be set, you can change or filter specific platforms, you can filter specific countries, however you want to do this. And that is our analytics dashboard and our setup walkthrough. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out via sales@getsocial.im, or if you're in the dashboard, you can always reach our support by clicking the button in the top, and it will get you directly to one of our engineers. You can ask your questions. Normally we reply within 24 hours. Thank you very much for your time and attention, and have a great day.